All right, on page 405, we're going to continue to talk about parallelograms today, and make sure you get one more rule in your notes. A quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Then its diagonals bisect each other. If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its diagonals bisect each other. So quadrilateral's got four sides. Parallelogram has opposite sides that are parallel. Diagonals connect non-consecutive vertices. So if we take a segment and go from D to B, DB is a diagonal. And then a segment from A to C would be a diagonal. If we call this point of intersection right here point E, here's what the rule means. Diagonals bisect each other. So where they intersect becomes the midpoint of both diagonals. So D to E is congruent to EB. D to E is the same distance as E to B. That also means that E is in the middle of AC. So A to E is the same distance as E to C. And then today, you'll use that rule to solve for variables in a parallelogram. So if we're given this diagram, and D to E is 2y minus 5, and E to B is y plus 4. Okay. Whether the tick marks are on here or not, if you're told that this is a parallelogram, then you know that each segment of this same diagonal is congruent. So we would take 2y minus 5, set it equal to y plus 4, and solve for y. So subtract y from each side. So 2y minus y is y minus 5 is equal to 4. And then add 5 to each side. So y is equal to 9. Now, a couple people asked me yesterday, when they say solve for each variable, are they including or do they mean these letters? Okay. These letters that I'm circling are not variables. Those are the letters that represent the vertex of the parallelogram. Because if you wanted to name this parallelogram, you would name it ABCD. Those are just vertices, all right? The variables are the lower script letters that are in the expressions that represent the different angle measures or segment lengths in the problem. So if you're given this diagram again, and you're told that the shape is a parallelogram, find the value of each variable in the given parallelogram. If this is 3x minus 4, and x plus 7. If it's a parallelogram, a segment that joins non-consecutive vertices is a diagonal. So both of these diagonals intersect right here in the middle. But you know by rule that they bisect each other. So the 3x minus 4 is equal to the x plus 7. So you can subtract x from each side. And 2x minus 4 is equal to 7. Add 4 to each side. Two x is equal to 11. And then you can divide both sides by 2. And x is equal to 5.5. Not right now, no. Let's do an example related to yesterday's lesson. Let's take this parallelogram and this upper left angle, let's call it 4x. This lower left angle, we're going to call it 2x minus 6. The top of this parallelogram is y plus 8. And the bottom is 5y. And you got to solve for the variables. All right, so we said yesterday that opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. So if we solve for the y first, our 5y is going to be equal to y plus 8. You can subtract y from each side. So 4y is equal to 8. Divide both sides by 4. And y is equal to 2. Opposite sides are congruent. Opposite angles are congruent. But when we're solving for x here, we're not dealing with opposite angles. We're dealing with consecutive angles. And yesterday we said that consecutive angles in a parallelogram are supplementary. So this 4x plus the 2x minus 6 is equal to 180. Consecutive angles are supplementary. They sum 180. So once we set this up, we got to combine like terms here. So the 4x plus the 2x is 6x minus 6 is equal to 180. And add 6 to each side. And 6x is equal to 186. Divide both sides by 6. And x equals 31. All right, so again, opposite angles in a parallelogram are congruent, but consecutive angles, those sum 180. So be careful when you see that type of problem. All right, any questions regarding the information we covered today? Your practice for today is going to start on page 407. Problem 4 and 5. '17 and 20. Number 47. And that'll be it for today. So not very much practice problems, not very many practice problems. So a great opportunity to work in the Alex app and get some topics learned.